break down my week 4 top 20. Starting off at number 1, I have the Princeton Tigers, and Princeton has the best resume in all of college lacrosse right now. They picked up 2 massive victories against Syracuse on Friday and number 1 North Carolina on Sunday. Ever since moving Chad Palumbo down to attack after their week 1 loss to Penn State, this offense has looked electrifying and like the best in the country. I think Princeton's the hottest team in all of college lacrosse right now. At number 2, you have Notre Dame. They're undefeated, and they're the number 1 team in the country in all polls across the country. Their offense is on a record pace to start this season, and they started with 2 big-time wins against Georgetown and Maryland. They take on Ohio State in a big Midwestern battle this weekend. At number 3, I have Richmond, and the Richmond Spiders 100% have an argument to be ranked number 1. They dominated Virginia earlier in the year and picked up a big-time win in Ithaca against Cornell this past weekend. The Spiders are legit. They're a national championship team. I think you can make an argument for anyone in 1, 2, and 3 to be the number 1 team in the country right now, but I have Princeton as of today. At 4, I have Harvard. They were number 1 last week. They slid back after that Syracuse win. Maybe doesn't look the same as it did at the time. At 5 comes Ohio State. They're a big riser this week. We didn't know who they were before this weekend. They didn't play anyone of note yet. This week, they go on the road. They beat Georgetown. They're in the top 5. At number 6, I have Army, and Army's flying under the radar. No one's talking about the Black Knights. All they've done is win so far and pick up very solid wins. They look like the top team in the Patriot League. North Carolina was the number 1 team in the country. They slide all the way back to 7. They'll be fine. Dom and Duffy look like maybe the best duo in college lacrosse. North Carolina is legit, and same goes for Cornell at 8. Suffered a tough 1-goal loss at home to Richmond. Cornell is a big bounce-back game against Penn State this weekend. Duke comes in at number 9, and they're undefeated, but they haven't been tested yet, similar to Ohio State. We'll find out what Duke is soon. Penn State comes in at number 10, and they're the most confusing team in all of college lacrosse. They have the best win in the country against Princeton, but then they lost to Navy and Villanova. They go as their goalie goes. When their goalie plays well, they're one of the best teams in the country, but when he doesn't, they suffer unexplainable losses like they have this year. Syracuse drops back to 11 after losing 2 out of 3 games during their start of their 6-game road stretch. Maryland drops down to 12. They're 1-3 for the first time since 1993, but the Terps will be just fine come May. At 13, I have Hopkins. They're there after their huge big-time comeback victory against Virginia. Georgetown slides down to 14 after suffering back-to-back losses. Denver comes in at 15. Rutgers at 16. Penn enters at 17, and they suffered 2 tough, close losses at home to North Carolina Friday and Syracuse on Sunday. Penn's going to be a tough out in the Ivy League each week. Virginia comes in at 18, and the 2 new teams this week are UMass at 19 and Sacred Heart at 20. Watch out for the Sacred Heart Pioneers out of the MAC as America's team this year. That's a stingy team who's going to be really good in the MAC this year. But comment down below who you think the number 1 team in college lacrosse should be right now and your thoughts on my week 4 top 20. And make sure to follow for more lacrosse content all season long.